2, 1. Button. I'm surprised you didn't say the thing.
10.
I was waiting for it.
It was delayed. It was delayed. So I button. I like. What?
Oh, that's funny. Hello, everyone, to the oncoming storm. This is your host, Bugboy1014, otherwise known as Spinwheel, and I'm just here with Fox this time. No one else.
Indeed.
You might be wondering, where's Lou? And to that I say, personal issues I won't discuss here. You can talk about it on Discord. No, also their character is here, but their character's not going to be involved. So, with all that out of the way, there was two notable things about this session. Number one, this is picking up directly after the previous one. So for all of you people at home that haven't seen the previous side session for this, go watch that, because this is going to be moments after that happens. And two, there's going to be a new rule in this particular thing. It's not really a new rule, it's a returning rule. But it's something that I feel I need to instate again, because people aren't taking it seriously enough, I think. I talked about it in the Discord. I'll be brief here, but basically, combat's going to have a timer on how long your turn can take, specifically 2 minutes. If your turn is not done within the 2 minutes, then the rest of your turn is skipped. It's fine if you're like doing rolls, but if you're trying to figure out what to do when the 2 minutes ends, then no. If you didn't use up all of your actions or whatever when your turn ends, yeah, oh well. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you might hear me repeat this a few times. You might hear me repeat this twice for timeline 2 and then timeline 1. Which, for those of you at home who do not know for some reason, I'm going to be streaming this Saturday, timeline 2, back in the dwarven dungeons, or dwarven ruins, I guess. They're not technically dungeons, but it's practically a dungeon. Which reminds me, I forgot to load the music. Hold on, let me go get my music. You can ignore all the images of peaches on the screen. I was looking at peaches.
What?
Here we go. Some nice, dark, dank music. This is actually picked in by Cathanglass himself. I was looking at peaches because I was looking up Plato's The Realm of the Forms. Because I had to for something Thor was referencing.
Oh.
Either way. So, where we leave off here. So, last time, you and Sortu were in kind of a little bit of a scuffle in the boat and an argument. And lots of shenanigans happened. And he tried to get you to remove your mask, and you were trying to explain that's fine. He freaked out, ran away. Sorry, go ahead.
Said yes.
He freaked out, ran away. You teleported after him, and it nearly broke out into a fight. But things managed to de-escalate a bit, but now Sortu's just kind of backed into a corner. As well as Zertin, who is a being you just met earlier today, yet you feel like you've known previously. Like, it feels like Sortu, but not quite like Sortu. Does that make sense?
I think even he said that Zerdus is like very rarely scared.
Right, and in this case, he was scared of the mask, which you don't fully remember why, but you have heard the mask has a dark history. Where we come in now, you're all on the boat. However, you've noticed something has changed about Sortu and Zerdus. So, two things. One, they disappear from the boat. And they appear on shore. And then two, you notice that They're seeming, Sortu is seemingly cowering into a ball against some rocks. And Zerdis is comforting him. What do you do?
Cathanglass would try to reach out to him, but would feel like it's not a good idea.
As you do that, octarine lightning jumps out of the ground and into your arm. Give me a constitution save.
Hold on. Pulling up Cathanglass thing for the first time of the session.
Yes.
Cathanglass saving throw.
Constitution saving throw. Okay. You take 2d6 lightning damage. And you would have gained a level of corruption if you weren't immune.
Cathanglass did start wearing the... Oh no, he can't wear the Thunder Helm because that is interfering with the mask.
Yes.
So, how much damage do I have to roll?
2d6 lightning.
Alright, just wanted to make sure.
Mm-hmm. 7.
Oof.
It would have been a lot more if you didn't make that con save. And as I said, you would have also taken a level of corruption, but you're immune to corruption, thankfully.
Wait, no.
And as this happens... Sorry, go ahead.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just realized I had temp HP that I could take from.
Yes. As this happens, you notice that a black, blobby substance begins to cover Zerdis and Sortu. Which you don't immediately identify, but after a little bit you identify as ink. And it's seemingly forming a cocoon around them.
Cathanglass should officially back off, going, okay, I know I can't reach them.
Yeah.
They're gonna handle us their own way.
Though something worries you a little bit when you see there is some octarine swirls in the ink.
Cathanglass to try to examine it.
As you try to get closer, the ink reacts violently. Give me a dex save. One moment, I need to look up this attack. Because you got attacked by the ink. And of course I don't have the stat block available. Okay, the Inkling mascot stat block is what I'm looking for.
Oh, I have it.
What's its stats then? Like, I'm looking for the ink spray attack.
I need to find Sepia.
I can search for Sepia, that's fine. How do you spell it?
Sepia.
Oh, S-E-P. I thought it was S-A-P.
Like the type of art, which kind of goes back to Cathanglass.
Okay, so, you managed to make the saving throw. In this case, however, it was a stronger version. Actually, no, you failed the saving throw in this case. As scalding ink was covering your one arm. Is covering parts of your body. You take 1d6 acid damage and will be blinded for 1 minute.
I'm immune.
Okay, but you're also blinded for 1 minute. Which, I think the Auric Mask makes you immune, so...
Oh, thank goodness. I was about to say, do I still have that on?
I don't know, did you take it off?
No.
Okay, then yes, you have it on. So you're immune to the effects of this. But it's clear it doesn't want you to come close. Also, by the way, you would have taken a level of corruption, but again, you're immune. So,
Cathanglass would just mumble about if he had some way to make Sortu immune to the delirium around him. It would have been good for him to leave it alone.
How loudly do you mumble this?
Subtly loud.
Make a stealth check.
Oof.
That one. Okay. Uh, you hear Zerdis. You hear Zerdis. He pokes his head out of the ink and gives you a glare, basically yelling at you to back off.
Hey, I got it.
And when you back off, he eventually goes back into the cocoon. So now you're alone on the boat. You still have the fishing supplies, and you have no idea where Raiju is. You can feel he's alive, but that's all you can tell. However, you're not alone, because you do have Sepia, and you have the oil can. Where the hell's the oil can?
Did the oil can just disappear from existence?
It got deleted.
Okay, come here.
Squirt, yeah.
I got him.
So it goes, oh, well, that happened.
Squirt, if I had a half a mind to refix you, I would make you smarter.
You think I don't want to be smarter? I already know about this. Last time I tried to be smarter, they made me dumb again, and dumber than I was before.
Okay, what is your big plan, genius?
I don't know. How about we just keep fishing? We need food.
Need food, but without Raiju, nothing feels right.
Well, if you want your dog... Wait, you can feel the thing? If you can feel it, then you know you can get to it, right?
I sort of feel like how he feels. I can tell the vicinity. It's not the exact.
Well, that should be good enough to follow a trail, right? We do got a river we can travel on.
You know what? Maybe you are smart. Let's do this.
You can hear him hopping around excitedly. He goes, hey, someone actually listened to me for once. And then he hops into your pockets and you set sail. Would you like to... do you have navigator supplies, by the way?
Yes, he has expertise in it, actually.
Cool. Go ahead and give me a navigator's check. As you navigate with this boat.
No, I don't want to... I almost rolled as the Horde. The whole Horde is just combining into one being to help out this session. I do have, Nope.
You're right, this is fitting music.
Right?
Though, now that I think about it, let me check my audio levels. Hey, Cathanglass, to speak real quick.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
I wanted to make sure the music wasn't drowning out your voice. And it's not. I did turn it down, though, about halfway. Okay, anyway. 30. So, you're able to kind of tell, given the sense of direction where you feel him in. Wait, do you have a compass on you? Because I think you might have a 3D compass.
He does! He has the Desire Compass!
Oh, you have the Black Burrow?
Yes.
Yeah. So, actually, scratch that. You didn't need to make a navigator's tools check in that case. You have that compass, which means that it just points directly to where Raiju is, as Raiju is what you desire most right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, you don't know if it's pointing you to Raiju, but given the fact that you really want your dog back, you're going to assume it's pointing you to Raiju. So, the compass is actually pointing in this direction. Like, it's pointing a bit downriver, but it's also clearly pointing into the shore. Meaning you could keep traveling by boat a while and see how quickly it changes, or you could just go back on the shore and try to go by foot. Which would you rather do? Boat or foot?
Then let's actually see if he could fly there.
You could try to fly. You would have to
He,
carry the oil can with you, but you could try to fly.
oh frick! No, he's gonna stay on the boat.
Yeah. Because the oil can fit in your pocket, but then you need to make sure it doesn't fall out of your pocket. So there's that. Notably, I'll point out, the oil can's a construct. It doesn't need to breathe. So you can stick it in the back of holding.
Cathanglass out. He has a bag of holding with him, I think.
Not
No,
only...
he has the handy sack.
The handy sack doesn't help. How much money do you have on you? Actually.
A lot. Like, okay, let's see the totals.
I mean, on his... okay, do you have at least 5,000 gold pieces on your physical person?
Yes.
Okay. Then you could reasonably try to just make a bag of holding while you're here. Like, it would be a little harder, but given your rolls, there's nothing stopping you from just making a bag of holding in this boat from the materials you happen to already have.
Cathanglass to try to do it.
Okay. So, we're going to do a crafting roll on stream, which is not something we usually do. For those of you at home who do not know, crafting magic items is a thing in my campaign. Why do you think the players have so many magic items? They're able to craft their own magic items using their own money. I have specific rules laid out for it and all that, but usually this is done off stream because it's stuff that's not particularly interesting. But in this case, it's plot relevant. There we go. Okay. So, it's an uncommon item, I believe, for a bag of holding. That would take 8 hours for you, since you have no form of assistance. Though you have the crafter feat, don't you? Which means that cuts it down by 20% time.
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It would be DC 20 checks, and it would require 100 GP worth of material to make. Which I think you have that much scrap material that you can make. It would be 8 DC 20 checks. With not much ability to reduce them because you don't have a workshop on you.
See if I could do this on my own.
Yeah. Let's see if you can do it on your own without any sort of equipment. So, sorry, go ahead.
Much.
We will go ahead and start with 2 Arcana checks. We'll go ahead and start with 2 Arcana checks.
It's loading.
That's fine. After that, are you proficient in Weaver's tools? Okay, you managed to make both of those Arcana checks.
I was just trying to say I did everything right.
Do you have an intelligence score of 30?
22.
How's it saying that you have a plus 10 as your attribute modifier then? That's weird.
Memories of the past, favor of the gods, guidance.
Look at the left number. Hover over the left number. You'll see proficiency 1d20 plus 4 plus 10, and the plus 10 is from mods, evidently.
Hold on, I'm actually checking. 1d4, 1d6, 2d4.
It's not any of those. They're calculated separately.
Where am I getting the plus 10 from?
I don't know. I'm actually going to check your
Checking
sheet
my
right now.
sheet.
Sorry, go ahead.
Checking my sheet, all I see is plus 6.
Right, but somehow says you have a plus 10 here to get like a plus 14 with which is a little weird. I mean, what does your Arcana say?
Arcana is 14.
So your Arcana is a plus 14?
Yes.
Then yes, that's where the plus 10 is coming from.
Okay, good.
Because it's
I was worried I messed
1d20
up there.
plus 4 plus 10, otherwise known as plus 14. So no, that's accurate. That's accurate. Because I believe you have expertise in Arcana. Yeah, you have expertise in Arcana.
This one made me joke that Cathanglass is basically getting the skill monkey boon without having it.
Right. Okay. Do you have Weaver's tools?
Yes.
Okay. I need 6 Weaver's checks.
No, I don't want to use light armor to answer this. And then I believe my DC is 4. I mean, not my DC, my is 4, so 2 more of that. Oh, now I understand what's happening. It wants me to do this roll every time.
Oh, it wants you to pick the attribute?
It wants me to do a public roll every time.
Oh, yeah.
2.
I don't think you would have memories of the past and favors of the god for all of these. Because don't you have a limited number of those?
Equal to proficiency bonus, so I turned it off after 4.
Okay.
Now. 3? Wood carvers.
It's fine. Yeah, oh, that final one was actually a fail. Give me 2 more Weaver's packs. I like to imagine you were just starting to get it finally done, and then you accidentally tore a hole in it, and it was like, crap, I need to fix it.
Except the nat 20.
Yes. So, you managed to successfully make a bag of holding with no workshop, no nothing, and just 100 gold pieces. So,
Decrease 100 gold pieces.
yep, reduce 100 gold pieces, gain 1 bag of holding. Oh, I didn't even check to see if it was mastercrafted, but considering the fact that you require 40s, I think, no, it's not mastercrafted. You didn't get enough 40s.
I'm actually checking to see how much 40s I have.
You need 4 of them.
1, 2.
There's just 2. Basically, you need like the memories of the past and other stuff to be able to even get them. So,
Or increase further. Isn't like I need to get better at like. Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
What?
I didn't know. I forgot of the robe of magic of useful items. Does that have? No, it doesn't have the. Okay, I'm good.
If you wanted to increase your tool checks even further, you can start making mithril tools because mithril tools give you +5 on crafting checks.
I feel like that would not be right now where I start adding mithril to all my tools.
It's not right now, but I'm talking in the future. Anyway, so you have successfully made a bag of holding that you can stick the annoying oil can in. Would you
do that?
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying Cathanglass would do that.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and delete them from the map, and this now gives you a new method of travel. So you can either go by boat, walking there, or you can fly. Which would you prefer?
Fly.
What's your flight speed?
My flight speed is 40.
Is your flight magical or non-magical?
I'm magical and I can hover.
By magical, I mean, are you using a spell to do it?
Oh no.
Okay.
He's just using his wings.
Then it's non-magical. If it's just using wings, it's not magical. Because that matters in case there's any effects that would cause you to like lose your access to the fly magic if you were using the fly spell.
Apologies, I was just making sure.
It's fine. So, you point the compass in a certain direction and you start flying off in that direction. Roll me a D100.
100. Oh,
98. As you start flying, I will describe the countryside to you. As you get more up in the air and you start flying forward, everything here, it's a little hard to see off in the distance because of how deep the actual haze is here. I mean, you can tell there is delirium haze everywhere here. Like, the entirety of this place is coated in haze, and there's even pockets of deep haze that you can see, which seem to be surrounding pure delirium crystals that are growing in this place. Like,
oh fuck.
it almost feels like everything you've seen here feels coated in delirium. You start to wonder if this entire place is just infected. It looks like a giant, expansive desert with like sand dunes, and normally you would expect a scorching sun in the sky, but looking in the sky, you do see what kind of looks like a sun, but the colors are all entirely wrong. It just feels wrong. You don't know how to describe it other than that. It just feels wrong, and it feels like the sun itself is against you.
Thing was to just try like, okay, it's okay. Do this.
As you're flying over, you notice three individuals are walking through the sand dunes. Two of which are wearing robes, one of which is not. Uh, all three of them have their head covered, and one of them has a walking cane. You can't tell much details of them from this high up, and it does not seem that they have seen you yet. What do you do?
Thing was to just like try to stealthily look at them with the Auric mask, see their how they look.
Alright, give me a stealth check. With advantage. Because of the old adage of people don't look up. Okay, 30. You managed to stealthily peer at... Sorry, go ahead. No, you managed to stealthily
Don't
peer
say
at them.
anything.
It was an instinct after I burped to just say that. I don't know why. So, you managed to actually stealthily get a good look at them. And you can tell they used to be normal people. But whoever these people are, they're very different than what they used to be. Because you can see on some of them, there's crystals growing on their body. Like directly out of their skin. They are roughly humanoid in shape and appear to be somewhat of sound mind, but they have disfigured features, as well as crystals and growths coming out of their skin. It's clear that if they can feel pain, then they're suffering. And you just kind of hope they can't feel pain.
Thing was to just gently see if he can like. He can't do anything in that situation. No.
How would you approach the situation? You are flying nearby, and you are not quite in front of them yet. You're about how high in the air would you be? Because I had the image in my head of like you're 100 feet off the ground.
Hmm? Let's say like 100, like 100 and like 850.
Okay, 100 feet off the ground. We'll just call it
Uh-huh.
that. They haven't looked up to see you yet, and because you basically hover, your flight is virtually soundless, which is why I gave you advantage in stealth, as well as they're just not looking up at you. Um, do you wish to ignore these individuals? Do you want to fight them? Do you want to do something, or what's the thing
Try,
was going to do?
try to touch the crystals.
Are you going to get close enough to try and touch them? Because you're over 100 feet away from them. That requires you getting
I
within
get
physical
close to
contact.
them and try to use my It's not a feature. I passively do it. I try to like use my ability to burn the delirium ray.
Okay, as you start to get closer to them, I will have them. One of them. I'll have all three of them actually make perception checks with advantage because at this point you're not even really trying to hide. It's one, two, three. So, what's your passive stealth? Oh wait, advantage. So I need to roll these again.
Cathanglass has a +10 in stealth.
Okay, so your passive is 20. So that means
Only
the
one
third
sees the.
the third individual sees you. It notices you coming close, and it yells, "Stay back! Stay back!"
Don't worry, I just want to help.
It
Her,
looks at
her,
you and turns its head a little bit, and you can see this seems to be an older gentleman of some kind that was likely used to be an elf, but you can barely tell. You only can kind of tell it used to be an elf because of the whole elven high magic kinship thing that you've been recently going through.
mm-hmm.
And you can feel the elven soul inside of here has been corrupted beyond repair. This he will no longer be able to go to elven heaven.
You're broken, but I can help you.
Just no. Stay back! Stay back! If you stay around too long, you'll end up like us. And the individual in the front of the party turns over, puts their hand on his shoulder, and says, "Peace. We're all lost here."
Maybe you just need to see the light.
The individual then turns towards you, pulls down its hood, and says, "I did used to see the light." And you actually see this is Varys. However,
Cathanglass,
he's the only one without delirium crystals growing out of him, notably.
Dad, I
Hello, son.
I didn't know this would happen like this. Why are you stuck here?
Who says I'm stuck? I chose to be here.
There's still hope. There always is hope. You taught me that.
Come with me. Follow me and the others. I'll bring you to my village.
Yes.
Do you follow your father?
Yes, and also I make sure Cathanglass actually takes off his mask.
Alright, you take
He
off your
feels
mask.
even better.
Though you noticed your father immediately recognized you even with the mask on somehow. Do you question him on this?
Yes.
Varys says, Arvigales always know their own.
I promise you, I will save you. I'll save Mom. I'll save my brother. I'll save Livefang.
Always been such a helpful child.
That's how you and Mom taught me.
It's how I used to believe in things.
There's still worth believing. There's hope. There has to be.
He doesn't respond to that. Though one of the other individuals just say, "So this one's yours? They're related to you?" He doesn't respond.
I am Varys Hercene. I mean, Cathanglass Hercene Arthur the Second.
Varys lets out a small chuckle with that. Welcome home, Lowell! Because Varys copied you made a mistake. So he lets out a small chuckle from that. He says, "Huh, not only do you have my old attitude, it seems you're trying to take my moniker now, is it?" And you can tell
Cathanglass
he's
just
trying to be funny.
Cathanglass just almost like, God damn it! I practiced forever for that.
It's okay. And you notice, while he does have, you've noticed, by the way, that he has his sight. Though he's keeping it invisible, so it's not normally visible. But Welvin's nowhere to be seen.
Dad, where's Uncle?
I wish I knew.
Can't be separated.
We got separated some time ago.
I can. I. He can't be that far off. It would hurt if he did.
I'm sure we'll find him again. He's still alive and he's a tough cookie. But, well, this place is not kind on us. And he turns to face you, and you see your father's eyes are octarine. He has been corrupted by delirium. And this is some pretty heavy stage corruption.
Cathanglass would actually look for a solution. Try to see if Cathanglass would actually see if he has any Ethereum on him. She does.
Right. As you get closer, when you get closer to them, by the way, do you try to hug your dad?
Yes.
Okay. As you get closer to hug your dad, he begins to wince a little bit, and the other two shriek and back away as they go,
Sorry.
"Blinding blue lights!"
I'm
As
sorry.
you
I'm
notice some
sorry.
of their skin started to melt in your presence.
I didn't mean to.
Varys just smiled and hugs you, despite the fact that you can see his skin is currently boiling.
It has to be the delirium poisoning I've heard about.
Son, you're always so foolish. It's good to see that you found a way to fight it, but the the primary method that you're using right now would just kill them if you just did how it is now. They've become dependent on it.
You haven't, have you?
I'm cursed to suffer through everything, remember? I can't die. So why
I
would I
want
fear
to.
pain?
I want to reverse that curse.
I don't know how.
Find it together then. Just don't want to be alone. Don't want to
Then
be alone again.
come with me to the village. I wouldn't mind company. And hey, who knows? Maybe you can bring hope to the villagers if you're really capable of what you are.
Okay.
You notice there's actually a hint of a smile on his face.
Cathanglass just lets out a shy smile.
He rubs your head. And then he starts to walk away, and you notice that his skin has begun to regenerate again, seemingly the moment he's away from you. As his immortality kicking in, preventing him from actually dying, regardless of how much injury he has.
Cathanglass is just mumbling to himself, there has to be a way to uncurse. I, there's tomes. I've read a lot of books about this. There has to be some way.
Varys looks to you and says, there's maybe some villages that you can help. I've heard some of them have been dabbling in dark magic. Maybe you can turn to some of them.
It means saving the family I have. And protecting the multiverse. Do anything.
He just does a heavy sigh when he hears you say that.
Cathanglass, in a way to try to like remedy the mood, like shows like, oh, by the way, I have this. He shows him Squirt.
He looks over at you and he goes, huh, that's an interesting little toy. And Squirt goes,
See,
hey, who you calling a toy? You little jerk.
seemed to find his way to me from Lou from me from a kobold friend of mine named Sortu one day.
Ah, yes, I was aware of that one. I wanted to come to them, but fate kept me apart.
Not able to be touched at the moment. Cathanglass just shows like slight burns. I tried.
Squirt, you do know you're trapped in there, right? Because, well, what do you think? Of course I know that. I got trapped in here a while ago. What's your point? Chris says, do you want to stay there? Well, what the hell do you mean?
Cathanglass just lets out a heavy sigh, just like tells him the truth. Just like, Dad, I've been. This isn't my first time here, technically.
Varys gives you a little bit of strength look and says, I wasn't referring to this area that we're in currently. I was referring to him being trapped as an oil can.
What?
And with that, Varys reaches over and puts his hand on Squirt, and you feel Squirt begin to heat up. As if the oil inside of Squirt is starting to boil.
Cathanglass just looks confused, but just is standing back.
Varys then fully grabs Squirt, holds him tight, and then tosses him up in the air. In which case, you see that Squirt is actually shining with a green energy that you recognize. He's using a Purify spell. In specific, he's using Elven High Magic.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. So, I believe this Elven High... He's basically using a variant of the one Elven High Magic that purifies multiple people, but he's doing it on a single person. I don't remember what this thing is called. I'm sorry.
All I know is we have a list of them. I put down like names of it. I don't know why I didn't put down like brief descriptions.
Yeah, where is that Elven High Magic list?
Outside resources.
Outside resources, that's what it is. Outside resources. Elven High Magic. Elven High Magic. Official second edition book on it. Did you do time? Which page is it on? Oh, let me go back. Glossary front. Did you do missiles about the people? What the hell is it?
Is it here?
Oh, 1, 2, 3. There it is. Magic of the people. High magic. Forms of high magic, rituals of solitude.
Just do something very quickly. I'm gonna just outside resources. gonna let. Oh, great! I don't have the ability to edit. I was about to edit to say 126.
Yeah, so up to four other people's needs. Oh, not that one. Star shine upon the people. He's using a variant of star shine upon the people, where he's focusing in on an individual instead of focusing in upon 100 participants. Does that make sense? And your father is a much larger master of this than you, which is why he's able to do so casually over the course of a minute instead of taking at least an hour to do. Sorry, go ahead.
Cathanglass is just like, or like, be is like, how do I not know?
Varys just kind of smiles and says, "There's many things about me that you don't know, child." And with this, you notice that the oil can's gone, but an individual lands on the floor as the oil can's true form is revealed to be a gnome, a gnomish boy. Specifically, it looks like a guarded gnome, if you know what those look like. Yeah. Hold on. Let me get. What is that specific monster stat block called? Let me find it. Those red, no, the red cats. Yeah, it's a red cat.
Let's just mumble to himself, chuckle. It's like, that explains the attitude.
Yes. Yeah, you try being plucked out of your garden and stuck in a fucking oil can. See if you like it.
How, though?
You think it was my fault? It was some stupid fairy did this to me. And then some adventurers saw me, thought I was a sentient magic guy, and decided to take me along and contained bog oil. They made me obsessed with bog oil. The nerve! I don't even like boggles.
I mean, I never filled you up with boggles, so you can tell that I knew.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess I'll still adventure around with you, but, like, I'm not gonna like it. And yeah, you notice this guy is actually a bit intense. I'll send you a picture of what the full image looks like in Discord, but people at home can see what this guy looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I love the caption on it. You want to know what the caption is?
What?
As subtle as a flung battle axe. Thank you, Bolo. You're hilarious. A red cap is a homicidal fey creature born of bloodlust. Although small, have formidable strength, and they use it to hunt and kill without hesitation or regret. Bloodlust personified. Yeah, so these are bloodlust creatures. The movie, the game. So be prepared for Score to try and murder everything in sight. Or at least murder anything that annoys him, which is most things in sight. Either way, you have a new companion. Have fun with that.
Hey, is that actually on my sheet now?
Uh, Squirt the Oil Can has been changed to Squirt the Red Cap.
Oh, I see it.
And I will make the monster stat block visible to you. You can make a copy of it and put it on your sheet. That's fine by me. And then Cathanglass is able to edit it. Boom. There we go. It's above the homebrew races.
Got it.
Yep.
I was just making sure.
Yep.
It's a fucking battle axe.
Yes. I was not kidding by that.
Almost charismatic.
Okay. So, you continue to follow your father. Do you question him on anything else? It's like where he's going and all this sort of stuff?
Cathanglass should share stories of the party, and then just going, it's like, Father, there's something that's been deeply concerning me.
he listens and has been sharing some of his own stories as well. Would you like me to go over those stories before your question or after your question?
Not before.
So, he's sharing the stories of his. He's sharing some stories of what he's been doing. So, ever since you last saw him, which was, I believe, the encounter with the basilisks, he went to go fight his son again, or at least go talk to his son again. And his son, didn't take too kindly to this. Told him to leave. Varys refused to, and so Lion Fang forcibly sent him to the Void Open.
He could
Sorry, go ahead.
just ask. Okay, he could send people here.
Evidently, that's what Varys says. Varys just says, well, one moment I was standing there in his palace, staring up at him, and then the next, there was a black portal behind me, and I was kicked inside of it, and it closed behind me. And I was here.
One can get you out. One can get you in. Maybe he or him can get you out.
Uh, if only. This place seems to block travel out rather than block travel in.
There's been multiple times in which Vegas just sighs. Dad, something's been scaring me.
What's been scaring you, my son?
Whenever I've been frightened or just overwhelmed, I appear here. This has happened more than once,
I
and
know.
somehow I've been able to get out.
I know. Has anyone ever told you why?
Not really. Darkrai just says it's because I'm some kind of special deity or something like that.
He looks up to the sky, up at the wrong sun, and says, it's because you have a connection to this place. You always have, ever since you're little. Ever since that nightmare. The first one.
And it just looks down. It's like I try to forget that nightmare.
You were 1 year old, so I would not be surprised if you forgot it entirely. It was the first time you saw this place. It was the last time you would ever fully leave it. In truth, a part of you has always been here. Ever since then. Ask yourself this. Does this place feel strangely comfortable to you?
Yes.
Haven't you wondered why?
Try not to ask.
Life is full of difficult questions, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be asked. You know as well as I do, it's important. I will not I will not pretend to be able to make you accept it, as that's not even my goal. I am simply here to show you the path as I show others. You see,
No.
while I've been here, I've decided that since I'm cursed to wander these lands forever, I might as well be a little productive with it. I set up a small village farther out into this place, and I've been taking whatever refugees I can find that get stranded here to the village. It's not much, but it's a little community. And while this place is horrible and everyone ends up corrupted eventually, they can at least live in somewhat peace in the community together.
I've always been a good leader, Dad.
No, even when I didn't want to be. I figured I'd use one of the few things I'm actually good at to good use. As for Welvin, well, he never got kicked through the gate with me, so for all I know, he's still in Lion Fang's den. But given this is probably a different plane, he would have passed by now, so I doubt he's there anymore. He's probably here somewhere. But if you haven't discovered already, this accursed place tends to keep loved ones away from each other.
Has to be some way.
It has impossible geometry and does not follow normal rules of spatial travel nor time. How long has it been out there for you in the real world?
It's been just months, I think.
For me, it's been 10 decades in here. I think I lost track of time a long time ago. I've had a lot to think about.
I just know that once I lose hope, anyone loses hope, they'll never be the same.
With that, you're abruptly cut off, and both of you, as you start to feel a rumble deep into the sand. Both of you do.
Thanos reflexively takes out his paintbrush.
And Varys says, "On guard! We have worms coming!
Worms?
Worms!" And with that, I will set up a battlefield. So, we have two options. Either one, we can do the combat, or two, we can flash over to what's going on with the Raiju.
Raiju.
So, we'll flash over to what's going on with the Raiju. So, where we last left Raiju, he was surrounded by spiders, and there's a giant sapphire dragon covered in delirium that was pretty much a delirium dragon at this point for how much delirium in it. Which is an interesting theory that there might actually be a delirium dragon out there. It is a gem. It is a type of gem.
Could be. Just like there could be an Aetherium dragon.
Right, but that's arguably what the Astral Dragon is. Oh. So, Raiju finds himself waking up. Currently, his paws and his not hooves, his paws are all tied in what looks to be a giant spider web.
What are you
And
doing?
Raiju is sore all over, and he's currently tied onto here, unable to move, and feels very weak. Hey, do you look around?
Yes.
Give me a perception check with disadvantage. I'll go ahead and say, like, over here.
Or the Cathanglass part, it was Raiju that rolled it.
Yeah. Raiju notices he is surrounded by spiders everywhere. They're crawling all over on this spider web. And in fact, some of them are crawling on him, and he can't do anything about it. It feels deeply wrong to have them crawling on his skin, but he can't move much at all. Would you like to try and struggle against the web?
Yes.
Alright, give me a strength check with disadvantage.
Go, now I fix it.
21. You managed to free one of your paws, but in the process, when you free your paw, uh, some of the spiders jump onto Raiju and bite all over his body. I need him to make 5 Constitution saves. And I'm looking for any that rolled 20 or less. Alright, so that is 3 failures. Okay.
20 or less,
Roll.
right?
Sorry, go ahead.
Just making sure 20 or less.
20 less, yes. Roll me 3D.
Oh god.
Okay, and now I'll also roll damage. So Raiju takes 24 poison damage.
Please be immune somehow. No.
And he also is paralyzed for 10 minutes. As he is unable to move at all for 10 minutes. It slowly feels himself slipping back into unconsciousness. Do you try to struggle to stay awake, or do you just embrace this?
You try to struggle to stay awake.
Alright, give me a Constitution save.
Eh.
19. You manage to keep on for another minute, and he hears a voice in the background. The voice he thinks is the dragon from before. It says, "This one's resilient still, but it's not helping. Extract more blood from him. We need more tests. We need to find out how he's doing this. And don't let him die, damn it. I don't want to lose him again." With that,
Just leave me alone.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He has the mask permanently on himself.
And he's still paralyzed.
Wait, he has the mask on himself, but he's paralyzed. Shit.
Yeah. Meaning he can't talk, notably.
That means I can't use the spell.
Oh. Do you have a spell that doesn't require verbal or somatic components at all?
Looking.
Or the ability to do subtle spell, which is a second level sorcerer ability.
He does have subtle spell, but he... No.
If you could subtle spell something that only has verbal and somatic components, then you could technically do it because of the fact that you would be ignoring those components, meaning you would no longer have components. Do you get what I mean?
I'm lucky.
Yeah.
I found one.
What did you find? Daylight. You want to cast daylight. Okay. What point do you choose to cast daylight on?
The web.
So he's casting it on top of himself, basically?
Yes.
Okay. So Raiju, with what magical energies he can muster, casts daylight on himself using subtle spells so he doesn't have to speak or move. As he doesn't even move or speak at all. He just starts glowing with the sunny radiance. And hears a loud hiss and crackle and pop noise as the spiders around him seemingly just dissolve and pop like popcorn. Just as they're blown away, some of them scurrying away, and the others just completely disappear.
Just like,
And
oh no, he can't.
even the dragon is backing up a little bit from this. Seems you have some fight in you still. Why do you resist?
Because I
Oh,
have someone to live for.
you think that as you're unable to speak still. He goes, oh, right. You're unable to speak.
No, there's one thing I can say. He does have telepathy. Does
True.
he?
You
No.
do have telepathy.
It's mentally.
Yeah. He goes, oh, neat trick. What are you
Brother
hoping to
taught
say, dog?
Listen, Dragon, I just need to survive.
Why?
Because someone's counting on me.
Do you even know why I have you here?
Help you.
I'm looking for the cure. Get out of this place.
I don't have the item on me. Cathanglass does. I've been telling you.
What item?
There's something that fixes all this evilness around you.
And it's in your body. So repeat, what item?
It's called Ethereum.
The dragon pauses and thinks for a little bit. Ethereum. Why does that name ring a bell? You hear it murmur to itself.
We'll fight, and I'll keep on fighting until I find a way to run.
Shush! And with that, you hear it do its thundering dragon breath attack into the air. It yelled at as loud as it could, causing shockwaves throughout the area. Give me a con save to make sure you're not deafened. Not that it will matter much, but still. Well, no, you can't hear anything now for about a minute. You can still hear him, well, you can still telepathically communicate, but you can't hear his words. Unless he's telepathically communicating back. He walks closer to you and seemingly starts to say something to you, but you can't tell what he's saying.
Raiju just points. Raiju would just oh, he can't even do anything.
You can speak telepathically.
Just like, I can't hear physically.
The sapphire dragon blinks and then says telepathically, "Is this better?"
Much. Besides, working with Cathanglass, I'm kind of used to this.
I forgot how weak creatures are and how easy their eardrums are to blow out. Sorry for the bleeding, but it's the least of the suffering you'll experience in this place.
Why do you want my blood? There's nothing in there.
Your blood has this crystal, whatever it is, running through your veins, and it melts the crystals.
Please, you can just get me to my brother. He knows how to fix this. There's Ethereum in his core.
And who's to say you aren't just leading me into a trap to steal my hoard?
Because trust me, if I wanted to, I would a long time ago. If you if you don't believe me, let's make a promise. Let's make a deal.
What are you going to bet?
I will let you bleed me dry without me fighting any more if I break my promise. All I'm just asking is a moment of your time and to trust.
Fine. I'm listening.
Thank you.
So, this brother of yours, where are where are they?
They were right behind me before I fell through the floor.
If you fell through the floor, then you were warped somewhere else in this place. The geometry in this place is constantly shifting. He
But
could be anywhere unless we have some indication.
I can sense him if that helps.
That does. That does certainly help. How are you able to sense him?
Soulbind companions are always bounded to their others.
Soul bonded. That explains it. And let me guess. You keep bringing him up because he's the one who had this thing that you just inherited from him.
Yes,
That would explain some of our experiments and why we couldn't find the crystal in you, but we could find your blood being affected. So he has the actual crystal.
yes.
Okay. Fine. Fine. If I free you, are you going to run away?
No, I promise. And I'm an Arvigale. Arvigales keep their promise.
He pauses. You're a what exactly?
I'm an Arvigale.
That's a tall claim.
My brother that I keep on talking about, his name is Cathanglass Arvigale II.
Named after the old king, no doubt. How very convenient. Bring me to this Cathanglass Arborgale.
Of course. Just please don't hurt him.
I make no promises.
Okay. Okay. He just nods, just whimpering slightly, just walking.
Well, hey, you're still paralyzed. The
He just
Sapphire
nods.
Dragon notes that says, get comfortable. I don't have a way to end the paralysis early, so we will have to wait until that wears off.
As long as you, as long as I know, this will change because this doesn't feel right. None of this feels right.
Nothing is right here. We are all lost here. This place is
That
worse than hell.
you could still be found. There's hope somewhere.
What hope is there in a place so far gone and so dark? Look around you. There is corruption in the very soul, in the very air you breathe. And yet you're somehow a walking beacon of purity, a beacon of hope in this dark place, like none I've seen before.
Because the Thangless has something special. Something that guided that chunk inside him.
Tell me, is he by chance related to Varys Armageddon?
Yes, he's a son.
And with that, we will flash back to Varys and Cathanglass as we combat the purple worms. And yes, worms. There's going to be multiple.
Oh god, purple worms multiple.
Yes. I have a limited number of maps. So, does this one
No, I
still
know.
have a thing from before? No. Okay, cool. Actually, wait, hold on. Not this map. Where's that map that I used before for mock bat? Let me try and remember it. Um. Where the hell is the thing? I did not have a battle map prepared for this. But yeah, makes sense. Cathanglass untitled. Sure, we'll go with this one. I don't know why this one's great, but it's great, so we'll go with this one.
It's great.
It's great. Okay, so we have Squirt, the red cap. Which you have the ability to control, by the way. So I'm actually going to let you control the red cap in combat. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to be controlling Varys, so I'm going to already have a lot of things to juggle. As well as the two other NPCs, which they actually are Drakenheim class, believe it or not.
Oh.
One of them is a malfeasant wizard, and then the other one is what's the cleric?
What is the name of the? They made. They made a cleric of a. What is the actual name? That fire. It's They have two domains. One of shadows and one of fire.
I don't know. Either way. So one of these is a malfeasant wizard, and the other one is a cleric of an unknown subclass. Uh, so, all right, and you're going to be. And let me drag out Varys. Actually, that's something I haven't done yet.
Yeah, I was still constructing his stat block.
Apologies. Well, Varys is here.
I mean, he does have. I did put a basic understanding of the classes he has.
Cool. And the spells don't particularly matter because I think he has the magical knowledge boon.
Yes.
So he has access to basically everything in his spell list.
Both him and the mom both have magical knowledge, as well as Elvin.
Yeah, and Wellman's not here.
I was just saying by principle.
I know. Alright, and
So,
Varys still has 4-digit HP, so there is still that. Which I think it's actually supposed to be higher because didn't we increase... doesn't he have Epic Boon of Fortitude a couple of times?
Yes.
And doesn't this HP only factor in it doing 40 instead of 400?
Yes.
So it actually should be more like 2,000 something. How many times did he take 40? Check.
Please check.
I'm
I
checking.
have not finished all his boons, and that was like something I think I was asking you, and you were like, later.
Yeah, we can work on him after this if we want. He's good enough right now that we can use him in combat. That's the important
Exactly,
part.
that's what I meant. It's like, we have his classes, we have his basic feats, we have most of the boons written down.
Yeah. We have his redonkulous stats. Okay.
It's a big enough threat in order to, like, not that much be worried.
Right. And then let me go get some purple worms. This is actually the first time I've used purple worms in this campaign.
I realized something was wrong with my stats.
What?
Like, wait a minute. I have proficiency in everything but honor saves. Was not checking out.
How many times did you take the resilience feat?
Or
Then that checks out because that's 6.
because I think you said I have enough honor, like I have a plus 11 in honor, I don't really need to worry about like saving throws in that right now.
Yeah. So there's a purple worm.
God. Oh, by that you meant there was more than 2.
Yes. There's specifically, this is the entire, I won't say a pack because they don't hunt as a pack, but like, it's a cluster. It's an entire cluster of worms. It's an entire bad apple worth of worms. For those of you who don't know what the purple worm is, I'll go ahead and describe this to you. So, as you feel the rumbling, Varys begins to describe what these things are. And he says the following. I'll just read the bio. Actually, let me also make the bio visible to you. I'll make it visible to you and all players. So, Cathanglass, you can read along if you'd like to. However, these aren't just any purple worms, by the way. These are delirium-encrusted purple worms, which we'll get to.
Oh no!
Yes. Anyway, he says, the massive burrowing monster known as the purple worm terrorizes the creatures of the Underdark as it chews through solid rock in pursuit of its prey. A dim-witted, ravenous force of nature, this creature regards anything it encounters as food. Ravenous hunters. Loud noises attract the purple worms, which have been known to interrupt underground battles and tear through subterranean cities looking for prey. The underground civilizations of the Drow, the Draugr, and the Mind Flayers maintain special wards around their settlements to deter these monsters. Though most common in the Underdark, purple worms are frequently seen on the surface world in rocky and mountainous lands. The maw of the purple worm is large enough to swallow a horse whole, and no creature is safe from its hunger. It lunges forward by rhythmically compressing and expanding its body, catching other Underdark dwellers by surprise with the speed of its advance. Boons of the worm. When a purple worm burrows to the ground, it consumes rock and earth, which it breaks down and consequently excretes. And I don't need to keep going. So, these things are big, fast, and powerful. However, they are not on the surface yet. They are deep underground. So I'll actually make them in the GM layer now.
Oh no.
Yes.
No, I noticed that they just be like, oh god, no.
As they're underground. You don't know where they are currently. The other two, let me just pull up some mage stuff. We'll go with Archmage. And then, is there like a cleric I can just drag monsters that blockways? Just quickly down something. I'm expecting the 2 NPCs to just die, so. Come on, roll 20, stop lagging. I really should have maybe prepared this before, but then. Anyway, so, the ground is rumbling underneath you. You and Varys are having this happen. And I will actually have you both roll initiative now. Remember to click on your token first before you roll for initiative.
Good. Up. Sorry, I'm just trying to, turn order away from my face for a second. I can move it.
You hear moving?
Oh, I can move it, I said.
Yeah.
I just figured out that I can, move the...
So the two NPCs will be played by the Archmage and a War Priest.
Not Raiju right now.
No. Alright. Okay, so once my everything starts lagging, all of the initiative rolls are. Let me close that. Let me close all of the things. Was this? Was that? That? Was that? What time is it? It's 5:06. Alrighty then. Purple worm. Okay, Cathanglass open. Close that. Close that. I might have needed that one open. So, 13. And now I'm going to roll initiative for Varys. Which, this is going to be good.
Do you want me to, or... Oh.
I mean, do you want to control Varys? I was going to
No,
control Varys.
no.
Uh, if you want to control the other two NPCs, I don't mind. But, I want to control Varys.
Fair enough.
Alright, the Archmage got 19. And now the War Priest got... 15. Okay. Okay. So... we will actually... Oh, I need to roll initiative for the Purple Worms. Yeah. They'll all be going on the same initiative.
Look at that goodness.
That means that all of them are going to get a turn at once. And thankfully, they're going last. They're thankfully going last.
I did not have that good of an initiative.
What was that?
Not have that good of an initiative.
No. They have a -2 to their initiative.
Thank God.
I mean, if I look at their initiative, they have a dex of 7.
Oh, right. They're not made to be speedy or stuff. They're meant to, be threatening.
I mean, they have a strength of 28, but they have a dex of 7. Okay. So, Varys will start. Roll me a d4. Okay. So, Varys, in preparation for the fight that's about to come, will cast on himself. Does this benefit from upcasting? Let me double check. I'm pretty sure there's a spell. Yeah. Okay, so freedom of movement normally doesn't have a benefit for upcasting, but I think a reasonable upcasting benefit would be to just have it affect multiple targets.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So he's upcasting freedom of movement. Specifically, he's going to upcast it to 5th level to give it to himself and you. So Varys burns a 5th level spell slot to give you freedom of movement. So, do you know what freedom of movement does?
Yes.
Okay. Also, does I forget? Does Ferris have 2 actions? Is he one of the people with 2 actions?
He is a ranger.
I mean, as in the freaking epic boon that gives him multiple actions. Gets hurt.
I didn't put that in, but yes, I would think he'd have that.
Okay. Oh, there's so much from Giant Hunter Ranger. Okay.
Because I wanted to make sure to put that in.
Okay. Let me look at his spells. So he is what classes?
Hold on. It's all. Not all classes, not all classes.
He's a druid, a soulbonder, a wizard, and a ranger. Okay. So wizard's good enough, and he has access to ninth level spells. Okay.
He's a level 80 spellcaster.
Right. He's a level 80 spellcaster. That makes sense. It wasn't properly done in here, but still.
He has spell training up to make sure he has 80th level spells.
Yeah. So there is a way to make it so that the spell slots there actually properly reflect it. We'll get there, but there's a spell slot modifiers thing.
Oh.
It's fine. I'll teach you how to do that later because we'll work on, Varys' stat block as well as that other thing that you wanted to work on. Okay. He will also then cast. What other spell does he want to cast? That's a good question. He has a lot of spells. Actually, you know what? I forgot. I should do my timer thing. He will then ready. Okay, so he will ready an action to. He will ready an action to fireball whenever he sees a purple worm coming out of the ground. Um, and I think after that he'll also run over to you and basically just say, "Well, it's time to fight, boy."
Cathanglass shakers, I'm ready.
Well, you better be. All right, and it is now the end of his turn. Uh, the rumbling has continued. It's now your turn, Cathanglass. 2 minutes are on the clock. What will you do?
Cathanglass puts back on the mask.
Okay, I forgot you took it off.
Just wanted to do that. That's the thing.
Okay, the mask is back on. What else do you do?
Cathanglass hears a voice just saying, "Don't hold back."
Yes, and with the mask on, you're able to see that there is some shape slithering under the sands.
Cathanglass would. Oh, I can actually try this out. Oh, I didn't write this. I didn't write it down. Oh yeah, he cast ice ball, which automatically upcasts by 2.
And
Using the water soul, he would try to aim for like one of the shadows that he sees.
all right, so you aim for one of the shadows. When you hit the sands above it, it freezes that area of ground, but it doesn't seem to affect the worm underneath, as the worm is in there too deep. Anything else you'd like to do in your turn? 30 seconds.
Cathanglass would use minor what is it? Thaumaturgy just to blast a sound in a certain like down over here, like to try like away from himself to try to distract the worms.
Okay. Give me a deception check. That would be deception. 31. you're able to. Well, I'll tell you what the result of that is later. Anything else you'd like to do in your turn? 13 seconds.
No.
Okay. Then resetting the timer. And next person's turn, the Archmage. The Archmage looking around. Uh it's just and goes, I knew he was trouble. I knew he was trouble. As he starts casting an arcane spell. And you recognize this is a delirium spell he is casting. Which the sorry, go ahead.
It's just easy. You don't want to aggravate them.
Uh okay. Okay, so as he rises, he doesn't rise into the air, but as he says, "Well, you're probably gonna want to duck for this." As he casts a boo.
Oh no!
So, for those of you at home who don't know what the fuck Haboob is, it a 30-foot radius circle around him begins to swirl as a dust devil forms around him. It begins swirling outwards more and more. In fact, it's actually a little more than that. It's he upcasts it, so it's actually 40 feet around him because he has delirium inside. As it starts swirling around, and everyone in there must make a dexterity saving throw, or become blinded until the start of the turn. You're immune, so you're fine. I need to make a dex save for the other two, though. You need to make a dex save for the red cat, actually.
Just keep on saying the. No, the red cap is not a purple worm.
No, it's Squirt. Also, that dex save I just made with Varus is wrong because it's only counting as a plus 10 instead of a plus 31 for some reason. So, Varus is fine.
Good thing I didn't have to make a dexterity save there anyway, and he got a nat 20.
Right. The spell save DC on this Archmage notably is DC 17, I'll point out.
Oh.
So, Squirt failed. Meaning that red cap is currently screaming and huffing, though it's a bit hard to tell with how roaring the wind is right now, as he's blinded with sand all over his eyes and beard. He has sand in his beard, as well as his eyes. And then, the other girl. Go ahead and make a dex save for her. There it is. Whoops, that's not what I meant to click. Where's the... I didn't pull up her sheet, did I? Nope, I didn't pull up her staffing. God. No wonder it's so hard to make a deck save. Okay. She's gonna fail utterly. Yep. So she's also blinded until the start of her next turn. Fun! Archmage does not care about other people, it seems. So, we will start the next turn. Keep in mind Haboob is going. With the War Priest, she will actually have to take some damage. Because at the start of the turn, she's no longer blinded. However, she started her turn in the sand, so she takes 4d6 piercing and can't breathe. So, 15. She takes 15 piercing damage, which doesn't quite like do all that much damage. He goes, he. I keep saying she. It's he. As he starts stumbling around over towards here, and is there anything he want trying to get out of the actual sandstorm? And he doesn't have anything else he can really do, though he just casts Crusader's Mantle on himself as a bonus action. So he begins to emit a 30-foot aura around him of Crusader's Mantle. Bang. Okay, and that's the end of his turn. Squirt the oil can. Squirt the red cap is up. You have to take. You're no longer blinded. You take 46 piercing. Squirt took 7 piercing damage.
I'll lower it.
2 minutes are on the clock, starting the timer now.
Damn it,
So, what would you like to do, Mr. Redcap?
I didn't know you actually changed it.
I went ahead and did, yes. Do you need me to restart the timer?
No.
Okay. What are you going to do? You has not seen any of these things so far, so...
Where's Haboob exactly?
What was that?
Where's Haboob exactly located?
So Haboob is in a 40-foot radius around this guy, so... let me just... I'll go ahead and pause the timer while I'm doing this. Let me just make a 40-foot radius. I'll make it brown. This is the radius of Haboob.
Shoot.
It's freaking massive, yes. As he seemingly just wants to deter that. You don't know why he's doing this.
First things first, Squirt would move here.
Okay.
It's 25 feet. And it reach him.
I would like you to make a stealth check
Or do I still check with red cap?
with disadvantage. 5. Okay. I would like you to make a dex save. 9. Okay. As he's stepping over there, the ground gives way as a giant purple worm comes out and he falls into its mouth as it does a bite attack on him. 29.
Oh.
Sorry, 33. As surprise, there was in fact a purple worm here.
No! Like
Oh.
Minesweeper.
Sorry, go ahead.
Minesweeper, but with purple worms.
Okay. I'll put it to back. So, you took, so let me go ahead and roll damage. 24 piercing damage. And if the target is large or smaller, it must succeed on a DC 19 dexterity saving throw, which you failed, or be swallowed by the worm. A swallowed creature is blinded and restrained. It has full coverage against other attacks and other effects outside the worm. It takes 66 acid damage at the start of each of its turns. So at the start of his next turn, he'll take that. If the worm takes 30 damage or more in a single turn when the creature's inside it, it must succeed on a DC 21 Constitution saving throw at the end of the turn or regurgitate any swallowed creatures. which fall prone as facing the intended view of it. If it dies, swallowed creature is no longer restrained. It can escape from the course by doing 20 feet of movement. So, he took 24 damage. So he's down. He's very bloodied as well as screaming.
Oh no!
Screaming all the way down this thing's throat as he is deep in its belly now. And it's going to start to be digested by stomach acid soon. Squirt, we barely knew ye.
Oh, we just got to know you.
And since you're both restrained and blinded, I don't think there's anything else you can do on your turn.
Nope.
Okay. Oh. As the priest goes, the priest, barely able to see this, sees the worm pop out, starts moving, and as it's happening, she doesn't notice the ground give way beneath her, as another purple worm pops up from underneath her, and I put it on the wrong layer. God damn it. I put it on the map layer instead of the object layer.
So that looks very weird.
There we go. That's up. As it tries to swallow her whole. Fun fact, by the way, they are using their reaction but to do a bite attack for if you guys walked over them.
Oh.
That's how they were able to do this. They were just kind of waiting. Because they're little smart suckers. Okay. So, a multi-attack. So, it's going to do its multi-attack. Which is 2 attacks. One with its bite, and then one with its stinger. So, in this case, bite attack first. Does a 30 hit her AC? I'm pretty sure it does. Yes, it does.
Yes, I'm 200% sure.
She takes 25 piercing damage.
Oh no!
And then must make a dexterity saving throw as before. She's made of sterner stuff than the red cat, though, to be fair. Let's make her make a dex save. Oh, dex is not a good stat for you? Oh. Nope, she swallowed. She has been swallowed whole by the worm. So I'll put her to back, as well as putting this guy to back. There we go. If they're swallowed by the worm, they are behind the worm. So I'm going to do this. And then it also does a stinger attack. Which, what's it going to target? What's the range of that? So that's normally 10 feet. This thing's way big, though, so it should be 20 feet. So, is the Archmage within 20 feet? That's a good question. Yes. Yes, it is. He's going to do Stinger on the Archmage. For reference on how big these things are, by the way, they are gargantuan. Like, literally, they're gargantuan size. It's the same size as an ancient dragon.
Oh no. For an adult Moonstone.
Yes.
Moonstone Astral.
Adult Astral, yes. So, 24. He tries to cast the shield spell, but it doesn't help. As it just shatters his shield spell, and he's stabbed in the chest for 21 piercing damage, and he has to make a DC 19 con save, or also take 36 poison. Or half as much on a failed save. Sorry, he's still going to take some poison damage. And this guy is not as tanky as the priest is. So, you make a constitution save. Oh, I'm sorry, you're being hit with the full brunt of this, as you take 57 damage to the face.
Oof, no. Does she have temp HP?
No.
No, that's the AC I'm seeing.
Yeah, and the other 99 is a weird glitch where it does the HP twice. That's why you see the purple worms show up as like 247, 18, 247. Is because, yeah, it's the weird glitch. Anyway, so that is 57, so 43, so 42. 42 HP left. It took the mage took over half their HP in one shot, and now has to make a concentration check on Haboob, which I think is
Damn
like
it.
DC 23 or something now. Nope, they failed. Haboob's gone.
The haboob.
Haboob has been disintegrated. Goodbye. The sandstorm begins to fall as this occurs. So, um, however, you can tell that there is still more of them swirling underneath, as the purple worms will end their turn. They're not overzealous just yet. Varys looks around at this and says, "This is bad. We're in the middle of a feeding frenzy. Sharks." Oh, I forgot. He had a reaction prepared. So he will fire Fireball at this point. Because Varys did have that reaction prepared, if you remember.
Yes, indeedy.
So, do you have Fireball in your sheet? Let me check. If so, that would be convenient. Otherwise, not a big deal. No! You do not have Fireball in your sheet. I can drag Fireball. That's fine. Fireball.
Away.
Fireball. Yeah, level 3. We'll cast it at level 3. A DC 45 dex. No, it's not going to make that. So it takes 31 fire damage. Does it have any sort of resistances?
No,
Nope.
but I think
So it
if
just takes
it's
41. Sorry, go ahead.
If it's delirium, isn't it vulnerable to fire, actually?
No. That's Aetherium. Also, I forgot it's
Right.
Delirium. Thank you. Because that actually does affect things.
Just wanted to remind you.
Yeah. Okay. Let me pull up a certain other stat block which will help me reference for what the Delirium means here. Because there's a certain other creature I wrote all this down for. By the way, you did notice this isn't just a regular purple worm. This is a delirium coated purple worm. It specifically has its teeth have been replaced with delirium crystal. Like its teeth are literally delirium crystals. You do notice that there's probably about 100,000 gold pieces worth of delirium in this purple worm alone. Possibly just in its jawline.
Oh, this is making Cathanglass have an idea.
Cathanglass' greed begins to be stoked. No.
No, not his greed. Because you mentioned the delirium inside, this is making Cathanglass have an idea.
Ah, true. Okay, so, okay. So, let's see. Haze dependence, haze adaptation, fully contaminated, delirium healing. Right. Delirium healing. Um, and then how much would it be reducing incoming damage by? So we'll just go off of that, which is its best stat. That would mean it would be 5. It's reducing damage by 5. Okay. So, it took... It's resistant to fire damage. So we divide it by half first. And then, so it took 10. It took 10 fire damage. Pretty significant. It went from taking 31 to taking 10. As you hear it, a blood-curdling screech from it. Which, notably, purple worms normally can't make any sort of noises like this.
Yeah.
Varys then looks at it and he just looks at you and says, "Do you trust me?"
With my life.
Ugh. He says, "I'll get us out of here." And then he grabs your hands and casts the teleport spell, which allows him to transport himself and up to 8 willing creatures that he can see within range. He's notably leaving behind the red cap and the war priest. And the mage. He's actually leaving behind the mage as well. He's just teleporting you and him.
Cathanglass doesn't comment right now.
Okay. As both of you teleport away, and I will have you roll me a D100 to see where he ends up. Because there's possibility of mishap. Okay, at 39, he manages to get on target. So,
Goodness.
he manages to get you out of the situation as he teleports you to his village. Which that means effectively combat is over.
I like the combat though.
The combat was fun, yes. Let me go ahead and close all these screens. He also lowers concentration on freedom of movement because he doesn't feel he needs to keep it up anymore. I guess he'll keep it up for as long as he needs to. That's fine. Wait, does freedom of movement require concentration? I don't even remember.
I'm gonna look it up in the compendium.
That's what I'm doing. No, it's not concentration. It just lasts for an hour. So you have freedom of movement for another hour.
Hey!
Which, for reference, means that your movement speed is difficult terrain. It's unaffected by difficult terrain and cannot be reduced by any means. And you also automatically escape from non-magical restraints, which is why he cast it on you. Because if you got swallowed by a purple worm, you could automatically break free from it because you'd break free out of its restraints automatically. The restraints of being swallowed, which would allow you to fly out of it. That's why he casts on you. I will then transition us over to a different map. So yes, he actually thought about that. What map do I want to use? I know which one. He then teleports you over to a bit of a weird snowy region. This is not an area that you recognize, but you immediately feel very cold here, as there seems to be a perpetual chill. But you do see what looks to be a strikingly normal tavern with what looks to be candle lights and flames on the inside, almost greeting you with its warmth.
Cathanglass automatically just, by reflex, just looks for traps.
Well, go ahead and place yourself down onto the map first.
Oh, right. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm looking for barriers to place him. You'd be starting actually down here, outside of it.
I was trying to move it for a second. He got stuck.
That's fine. So, Ferris is actually down here, and he looks and says, welcome. This is a place you may or may not recognize. And he points up to the sign. Would you like to read what the sign says? The sign surprisingly says, "The Good Fortunes Tavern." And that's where we're going to leave the stream here.
Oh! It struck me there like, oh!
So, yeah. Alright. Thank you all for watching. I'll leave out a bit of a cliffhanger. For those of you who know, you know. For those of you who don't, join my Discord and you'll know. And I'll see y'all next time.
Nintendo.
Goodbye.
See ya.